broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side, with leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology news. I'm Nathan Mumm, your host and technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise. Our co-host, Mike Day, is in studio today. He's the award-winning author and our human behavior expert. Now, we're live streaming during our show on 4 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch TV, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to watch us online or visit us at techtimeradio.com and become a Patreon supporter by going to patreon.com/techtimeradio. Now, we're friends from different backgrounds, but we bring the best technology show possible weekly for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We're glad to have Odie, our producer, at the control panel today. Welcome, everyone. Let's start today's show.
Now on today's show.
All right, on today's show, we're going to be talking about 3 of the most interesting subjects to lead off our series. Then we have Gwen Way joining us with, of course, her Gadgets in Gear segment. And we have a technology fail that'll make you not want to fly. That's right. Plus, we have, of course, Mike's mesmerizing moment, our technology fail of the week, and a possible Nathan nugget. And, of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tasting, to see if it gets 1, 2, or 3 thumbs up. We're going to see if Mark likes it too, since he's drinking it today, before the end of the show. But now, let's head on to the latest headlines in the world of technology.
Here are our top technology stories of the week.
All right, story number 1, high above the Arctic Circle, halfway between mainland Norway and the North Pole, frozen.
The North Pro?
The North Pole, frozen, mountainous, and remote. It's home of hundreds of polar bears and a couple of sparse settlements.
And snowmen?
And the most intensive collection of digital data in the world. Let's go to Lisa Walker for more on this story.
Longyear Bayan, the world's northernmost town, in a decommissioned coal mine, is the Arctic World Archive, an underground vault for data. Customers pay to have their data stored on film and kept in the vault for potentially hundreds of years. This is a place to make sure that information survives technology obsolescence, time, and aging, says founder Rune Bjørkestrand. With a headlamp on, Rune descends a dark passageway and follows the old rail tracks just under 1,000 feet into the mountainside until we reach the archive's metal door, just like you see in the TV or game series Fallout. Inside the vault stands a shipping container stacked with silver packets on which the data is stored. It's a lot of memories, a lot of heritage, Mr. Bjørkestrand says. It's anything from digitized art pieces, literature, music, motion pictures, you name it. Okay, now that's cold storage. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, so let's talk about this.
What, the Fallout Vault?
So there's a storage place, right? We just talked about it, all the way up next to the North Pole, halfway between Norway and the North Pole itself. And all this is a storage that stays sub-zero for people to put their storage in cold storage. So cold storage is a term used in data management all the time, which means you normally take off-site storage and you move it to some location. So if I'm a business company and I have information that I want to be taken care of, there's a concern with that maybe going into the wrong hands, maybe getting compromised on a security breach. What you do is you put it on a big drive and you send it off to a cold storage place. This literally, though, is a cold storage place. Now, the archive company, AWA, launched 8 years ago. Now, more than 100 deposits have been made by institutions, companies, and individuals from 30-plus countries. Among these include artifacts of 3D scans of the Taj Mahal, ancient manuscripts from the Vatican Library, satellite observations from Earth, and space. Norway's treasured painting the Scream in many different stuff. Now, this was inspired by the Global Seed Vault. Have you heard about the Global Seed Vault?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the idea of the Global Seed Vault, kind of the same thing.
It's
a
up
seed
there,
bank.
too, around the North Pole.
That's right. So it's only 100 feet away. So the storage is a little bit. So it's the same company that owns the Global Seed Vault decided that they should do a storage company with, guess what? Data and technology. Now, Rune says that there's a lot of risks with information and data, the terrorism, war, cyber hackers, and this is far enough away from everything that you won't have to worry about it, and people can come and have this information stored there. Now, it's interesting when you actually take a look at the video of how they open this lock. This is like, it sounds kind of funny, but this lock is like one of those locksmith type of deal vault locks that I would have on the back of my storage shed or something into that extent. So it's pretty unsecure. So all I'm thinking about when I'm doing research on this article is if I wanted to steal all of the information in some spy deal, you always see the spies go into these places in the middle of nowhere. This would make perfect sense for me just to break into this location, steal all the information.
Are you playing GoldenEye?
Well, yeah, see, I kind of, that's exactly what I thought about is, you know what? Here's all this information storage. I bring myself some bolt cutters and guess what? I can have all the storages available, but it's in a proprietary system on tape. So it's not necessarily just hard drives you can grab, but I'm sure it's pretty easy to take care of. Now, the back of the chamber has large metal boxes containing such items like GitHub's Cold Vault. So GitHub is all the developer information that's available there. Pretty big information. It's got software development, hundreds of reels of open source code, the building blocks of computer operating systems, software, websites, apps, and more. There's public repository of information written by over 150 million different users that are stored up there. Now, would you be okay? What's really interesting is all of this is stored with QR codes.
Would I be okay? Would I be okay with what?
So would you be okay with taking your information, putting it up into the middle of no man's land, Norway, to keep your security information safe in case the world gets destroyed, and then people can travel up there? I guess up there maybe it'll be warm by then if the world gets destroyed.
You act like this is like a library that, you know, the world's going to end and then the survivors are going to be
that's what this guy's
check out.
That's what he's selling it to. He's selling it to the clients. See how much it costs to buy a data tray of storage up there?
How much does it cost to buy?
$300 million.
Oh, wow.
$300 million to have.
Definitely. I'll do that tomorrow.
That's your starting deal to own a tray in his storage. Now, all he has to do is sell it. I just think of this. He sells it to like one person. Boom. He's made his profit of whatever he did to convince somebody to throw a storage container down in the middle of
pay for all that storage.
Well, clients pay to have their data stored there, transfer to tape, have it taken care of. Now, this will save us from the digital dark age is what they're taking care of. Many firms have offered long-term data storage. Now, cassettes and magnet tapes, known as LTRs, allow you to store information and data that can be retrieved at a later time. Now, Microsoft's working on Project Silica, which is developing a 2mm thick plane of glass, which a chunk of data is transferred by powerful lasers. There's other universities out there that have created the 5D memory crystal that records human genome and different information there. But this is now a place where you can store all of the great stuff for mankind to retrieve it later.
Okay.
All right. You excited about that? Well, I'm excited about that.
I'm just always interested in your take on these things because you have such a weird view of it's like, would you take your data and stick it in this place?
I don't know.
I don't have $300 million bucks.
Okay, but if you're a company and you're going to store something there,
this has nothing to do with securing your data.
Okay,
it has to do with securing your past.
Yeah,
it's not about your data; it's about your past.
Okay,
and we could talk about that later.
Maybe I'll bring that up on your mesmerizing.
That's a very important piece of understanding our human society is looking at the things from our past.
Okay, all right. Well, I got a question for you already in my head. All right.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready for story number 2?
Sure.
All right. What do we got going on here?
We're going to talk about dinosaurs.
What? Oh, you like dinosaurs? You play dinosaurs on video games all the time, don't you?
Yeah. I briefly considered becoming a paleontologist when I started college, but I did.
Is that before Jurassic Park or after Jurassic Park?
That was before Jurassic Park.
Okay.
So,
yes,
I don't know if you know this, but they have discovered dinosaur DNA, right?
I have heard about that. Yep.
Right? So
Yep.
while it was previously believed that dinosaur DNA wouldn't survive for millions of years, recent discoveries have found collagen preserved in various dinosaur fossils.
Okay.
Including
this isn't the mosquito in the
no
ember?
It's not.
This is real stuff.
You have to really get off the fiction here.
Okay, all right, okay. So this is real. No, okay,
yeah,
absolutely.
So
okay.
they even found one for an 80 million year old T-Rex.
Oh wow.
Right?
Okay.
So last year, MIT researchers decoded how the collagen lasted so long, and interestingly, they discovered a specific atomic mechanism that shields collagen from water's damaging effects. Isn't that awesome?
That's kind of cool, yeah.
That has nothing to do with the story.
Oh, it doesn't.
You know what the story is?
Well, let's talk about the story. What is that?
It's like, okay, if you have dinosaur collagen, what would you do with it?
I would probably rebuild a dinosaur, but I wouldn't mix it with raptors. So
you might think so.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about how this company wants to take all that wonderful dinosaur stuff and make handbags out of it.
What? What? Okay, so tell me more. What's going on here?
So, creative powerhouse VML, genomic innovators, the Organoid company, and sustainable biotechnology firm Lab Grown Leather have joined forces to develop the world's first T-Rex leather made using the extinct creature's DNA.
Okay, so hang on. So we find collagen, which is muscle tissue.
We find
muscle tissue.
T-Rex DNA, and the first thing we come to it is like, I need to make a handbag out of this. It's just not enough.
Are you serious? Okay,
yeah,
keep on going.
I'm gonna. My word! It's not enough that I'm gonna go and kill an alligator and make a bag out of that. I'm going to dig up a fossil.
Yeah.
Get its collagen out of its bones and then make a handbag out of a T-Rex.
Make a handbag. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Tell me more. It sounds good.
So, as you know, the T-Rex or the Tyrannosaurus Rex was one of the biggest and most dangerous predators ever on the face of the world, right?
Yep.
So these people are taking this stuff, and reports suggest that the first product could be available by year end.
Okay.
They claim this next gen material could be a high quality, cruelty free, and eco friendly alternative to standard leather.
Okay, so hang on. So we can get leather right now from cows, right? So we can go and we can get leather.
Yeah, but that apparently that's
not good enough for us now.
No,
so
we're taking it from dead creatures from
DNA
millions and millions of years ago,
and then make it into a handbag. So Gucci's all over this, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I guess.
Oh boy. Okay.
So they their quote is that this project is a remarkable example of how we can harness cutting edge genome and protein engineering to create entirely new materials. By reconstructing and optimizing ancient protein sequences, we can design T-Rex leather, a biomaterial inspired by prehistoric biology, and clone it into custom engineered cell line, and then sell it to you for the low price of something, however many dollars on late night TV shows.
Okay.
Collagen.
So we're not okay with our current leather.
I don't know
exploits.
Yeah.
Okay.
So collagen is a protein present that in bone, skin, and muscles, and various other bodily tissues.
Okay.
So in this thing, the T-Rex based leather material creation method differs from plant based or synthetic alternatives by focusing on growing biological structures in the lab.
Okay.
This biofabrication process directly cultivates leather-like tissue from the cells that they obtain from this collagen. Process of creating T-Rex leather uses the collagen as a template. Using this, the team will generate complete collagen sequence for the T-Rex to cultivate a new skin.
Wow.
The sequence will be translated into DNA and introduced into lab-grown leather's cells.
Okay.
Successful implementation of this process is expected to yield a tightly packed collagen structure similar to the dermis layer of animal skin. That's the skin.
Okay.
Which remains after tanning. If successful, it will produce a leather-like material derived from the T-Rex DNA, and then they will fashion it into a fashionable accessory and sell it to you on the open market.
Oh, well. Okay. Did you hear about the Mammoth Meatball?
This
No?
is the same company.
Oh, is it the same company that's doing the Mammoth Meatball project?
VML is also behind the Mammoth Meatball project.
Oh, my word.
Which was a bold endeavor that used lab-grown meat derived from reconstructed woolly mammoth DNA in 2023. I don't know what happened to that.
So they did taste testing. They spent all this
It was
time doing it.
probably gross.
It was nasty. So I believe what happened in the Mammoth Meatball project is when they actually tried to sell it and had people taste it, they're like, this is like the worst thing ever.
Probably, yeah.
And then that doesn't go to market. Greg, you know what? This VML must be an interesting company to work at.
I don't know.
We take DNA stuff and we try to make common stuff like a meatball.
I don't know how you make that leap. I don't know. Let's take all this wonderful information from bygone years and turn it into a handbag, or give it out at IKEA.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. I'm going to be the new fashion Vista walking down in LA.
I don't know. Stephen King should write a story
about this?
About the leather T-Rex bag that eats people.
It starts going around. Okay, all right. Wow. All right. Well, guess what? Story number 3 doesn't.
I don't know. Is this as interesting?
Well, it kind of is. It is. And we're talking now about, we now have an American Pope.
Yeah, that one's creative.
So guess what? We're going to have a technology story that's going to make him so happy to hear about on one of his Catholic priests. Well, this Catholic priest decided to steal over $40,000 of parish funds to fuel his addiction to Mario Kart and Candy Crush. But the good news, he's been spared from jail. Okay,
hang on. Is that the good news?
Hang on. How many upgrades do you need in Mario Kart? Now, I play games online, and I play Sea of Thieves, and I have paid for some skins that look like Captain Jack and a couple other things, but no more than about $20. $40,000. Now, do you realize that when you play these games, you don't get that back? That digital asset over 10 or 20 years will be gone. So you spent $40,000 on air.
Well, again, the funny thing is that you're focusing on the aspect, right? The game.
The game aspect.
He's spending money on the game when what he actually did was siphon $40,000 from his parish.
Okay.
He stole $40,000.
I still can't get over $40,000 played for upgrading for video games.
That's why sitting here next to you is always a treat, because you were like, I don't know why I would spend $40,000 on a video game, and I'm like, dude, this guy was stealing it from his church to pay for his gaming addiction.
Yeah, Lawrence Kozak, 52, pled guilty to siphoning the funds from St. Thomas More Church in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. He was sentenced to 80 hours of community service. What's that, Odie?
What was the game?
The game Mario Kart and Candy Crush.
Well, there was.
Okay,
I know there was some other stuff. I think there was some like online gambling and stuff.
No, there wasn't. So this is the thing.
No? Is it 40K over
the court heard
years?
the priest, and he used the parish credit card to drop tens of thousands of dollars on power-ups and Mario Kart and other paid online content. And none of these resulted in gambling or receiving money back. So these are all games. If I got $40,000, so he doesn't make any.
I thought he was doing online gambling.
No. That's what it gets me. No, so he's not making any additional finances.
He's just buying power-ups.
Over 2 years.
Okay, so like $20K a year.
Are you trying to make this an easier pill to swallow?
No. I just trying to understand
Mario?
40K in a year.
No, over 2 years.
Yes, I guess it is easier to swallow.
He stole 40K.
I know, but the Mario Kart I don't understand. The Candy Crush, I can so see that happening.
Really?
How much money
do you spend? It's a very addictive game.
How much do you spend on Candy Crush?
All you do is you match stuff. It's Tetris
but people fall for those stinking power-ups and like upgrades.
What?
Oh, it's a very common thing.
You make nothing of it.
I wish I could look up like the most popular players of Candy Crush and see how much they've spent overall.
Why would you pay any money
It's
to
a
play a
pay-to-play
Tetris
game.
game to do this?
not me.
What mobile games do you play, buddy? We know that you play mobile games. And
I
every single
play-
one of these mobile games.
I play a
are trying to
football.
get
I
into
play
your-
a football
into your
game.
Okay, they
T-Rex
don't have a pack or
wallet.
something?
No, I buy $9 for the game and I play it until I get taken care of. I don't play tons of mobile games, but what I do, I have a chess game on there. It's free. I play a couple other things, but that's it. I have not. I do not play now. I doom scroll all the time through TikTok.
No, it's not
That
doom
has
I
nothing
know
to
scrolling.
this
do
is.
with
I do
it.
not play
It's
games on my phone.
specific to the
Clearly, you need
the
to hang out
online
with
games.
Father Kozak here and figure out what the draw is.
All right. Okay. Well, he also was really nice. He took some of that money and he got his niece a Fire tablet TV or Fire tablet and a couple other things also.
Oh.
So he was a good guy. All right. Well,
Was he?
Well-
He only got 80 hours of community service for that 40,000.
yeah, and you know he may end up being
Thankful.
at.
It's good that Christian people are
He-
forgiving.
you know what? He is only on administrative leave, and he'll probably pop up someplace else in the United States.
Yeah, well, we've seen this before
Right? Okay.
in very different circumstances for priests.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Catholic faith.
Well, that ends our top technology stories of the week. Moving on, Gwen will be joining us for our gadgets and gear segment next. Buckle up as we drive 88 miles per hour into our next segment. We'll catch you after this break.
Looking for custom glass solutions for your next commercial project? Hartung Glass Industries is your trusted partner in custom glass fabrication. For over 100 years, Hartung has delivered proven manufacturing expertise, comprehensive product offerings, and dependable service and quality. From energy-efficient facades to custom shower doors, we create glass solutions tailored to your project needs. With 8 facilities across the U.S. and Canada, we combine national expertise with a local touch-ensuring faster service and unparalleled customer care. Hartung Glass Industries, where quality meets innovation. Visit hartungglass.com to learn more.
40K. All right. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, our weekly show.
I don't know.
covers-
That doesn't trump T-Rex wallets.
Does it? Or how about storing your storage in the middle of no man's land,
That makes sense,
Norway,
but
right? So we got
they're gonna store the T-Rex wallets in the bin
Are they?
with
Is it
all the
with the
digital
mammoth
data.
meatballs?
That's right. With
All
the
right.
mammoth meatballs.
Welcome back to Tech Time. If you're just joining us midway through the show and you say, "What the heck are you talking about?" Go back for the next 15 minutes and you'll get everything that you need to. Now, we are a technology show that talks about subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We verify the facts. We do it with the sense of humor in less than 60 minutes, and of course, with a little whiskey on the side. Today, Mark Gregoire, our whiskey connoisseurs in studio. Mark, what have you chosen for us today?
Today we have High West Burr Rye 2025. This is batch 25A23. Now from High West website, this is a unique and premium blend of rich bourbon and rye whiskeys, making for a premier sipping whiskey and one of High West's all-time favorites. Now, since this is not very descriptive, I also bring you David Tao from Drink Hacker. He says the palate is easier to pin down. Toffee, milk chocolate, and pecan brittle lead with a little sweetness. These elements are balanced by a hint of salinity and dried fruit. Think salted, dried apricots. It's one of the top High West Burr Ryes he's ever tried and flat out among the best bourbon and rye blends he's sipped in recent memory.
All right. That now, you thought that you had some predictions on who would like this and who wouldn't like this.
Yeah, we
Right.
can say that for the mumbles.
Okay. All right. Okay. All
We're
right.
just
Yeah.
talking about the whiskey.
Okay, tell us more, tell us more.
Mumble.
So this is from Constellation Brands, of course, who own High West. The distillation is from Utah, Indiana, and Kentucky. And it's a blend of both, as we said, straight whiskeys of bourbon and rye. It's over 10 years old. Everything in there. It's 92 proof, and it's a blend of 5 mash bills. 2 of them are rye, and 3 of them are bourbons. And it goes for $130.
Well, we know where this one's not going.
What's that? Hey, guys,
That's not going on a Nathan
Hey,
shelf.
hey, did you see my top shelf over there? It's very bare. I just had a wedding this last weekend.
Did you take all your top shelf?
Yeah, we drank heavily.
There must be some correlation with how much how much liquor you put away and how you felt about that wedding.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to hear about that all offline. Oh, boy. All right.
Now, whether you're at a wedding or you're sitting on a radio show, always drink responsibly. Heaven can wait.
Okay.
Nathan didn't drink responsibly. What are you talking about?
We had lots of people there. There was at least 10 or 20 people there.
He got drunk and bought power-ups for Mario Kart.
No, I did not. I would not. $40,000. All right. With our first whiskey tasting completed.
The first what tasting?
Our whiskey tasting completed. We are now moving on to our feature segment. Today we have Gwen Way joining the show. She's an expert in cybersecurity during the day and a game board geek in the evening, as well as the producer of TechTime Radio. Now, our gadgets and gear gal is set for today. Let's get ready to start our Comcast video stream now.
What's new in our gadgets and gear?
All right.
Hi, Gwen.
Hi, Gwen.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself for all of the new listeners.
Certainly. I have been in the technology space not quite as long as Nathan. I've put in a quarter of a century though, so I feel pretty good about that. And yeah, like you say, my focus is cybersecurity at this point, but I've done a little bit of everything.
Okay. All right. Now, the best part about Gwen is she does all of our gadgets and gears. This, as we started this show 5 years now ago. We're
Are you sure? Are
Yeah.
you sure it's 5 years now?
I am.
Okay.
I made sure. It's
All right.
5 years ago.
Okay. I'm
We-
just checking because
Now,
you
I
always
used to
get
do
it
this.
wrong.
I used to do this segments, and guess what happened? My pocketbook just blew up. Because what I'd end up doing is I'd buy stuff that we talk about on the show, and then I bought stuff that we didn't talk about on the show.
You're thinking the same thing.
I think so, Mike.
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, you also used to do the whiskey segment,
And I did.
and that's where you got all these bad bottles that are sitting on your shelf.
We all know that
What's that?
you still buy the stuff.
I did. I was just at Wise and More, and here I am texting Mark. I'm texting Mark. What do you think about this? What about this? And Mark just responds back, "You must be at Wine and More. Those are all cheap whiskeys." Isn't that what you said to me?
Yep,
Yeah,
I
that's what you said to me. All right. Okay, Gwen. What is this project? Now, we've done a lot of stuff for you. You like having, which is great because you do a good job, and that saves me some money. You know that I'm a gadget guy for like little robots. I love little robots, so that's kind of my deal. But this is
this is something he can get in
I
trouble
got
with.
2 of these already that I've purchased. Let me just tell you
Yep.
this. What is this unit?
Right up your alley.
Yes, it is.
So, for all of our listeners, have you ever wondered how secure your home network is? Or maybe your friends or family network? Well, guess what? This is a great tool to test that out.
All
if
right.
you go to Kickstarter.com and search for Interrupt, INTERRUPT, you get this wonderful pocket gadget for hackers that I picked out specifically for Nathan this month.
All right, so it's a pocket gadget for hackers. Now, I have one that I've used a lot, and I really, really, really like, but I think this one is actually going to be the number one on my list. Tell us what this does, what you can use it for, what the form factor is. I mean, this is perfectly Nathan's
And then we'll
gift.
guess why Nathan likes it so much.
You know what?
Exactly.
I'm getting one for my wife's birthday's coming on up, and I decided, I should buy her one too. So that
I was
way,
going to say, you're getting
what is
yourself a present for your wife's
What
birthday.
is she gonna do with it?
she's gonna give it back to me and say, "Here you go, honey. Take care of it."
Here's
There
your
you go.
spare in case you lose one.
That's right. Yes, in case
Or-
I
gets
think it'll be just as it'll go over just as well as buying her a new vacuum cleaner.
Oh boy. Okay. Tell us more about this object.
All right, this is a wonderful little toy. It's a little bigger than a Game Boy. It looks very much like a Game Boy, except a Game Boy with a full QWERTY keyboard and a color touch screen. What this particular toy lets you do is hack into your own network to test and see how easy it is to get in there and mess around with stuff. Or, friends, family, keep everybody safe. It's very important to keep cybersecurity top of mind these days.
All right. So can you get into your
Or go into a bar and change all the TV stations.
Well, let's
We do not condone that behavior.
let me ask.
However, it could be used.
It
for
could be
that.
that. Okay, so I'm gonna go through some
Guess how I know
questions because you were in a bar when I did that. All right, okay, all right. I'm gonna ask you some questions on what this device can do or cannot do. A little off script here. I know that we have a different thing, but I'm gonna ask you. Tell me if it can do it or if it can't do it. Okay? Can this intercept NFC like credit cards, Prox cards, and grab the identifications of Prox cards?
It can.
It can. Okay. Oh, number one. Okay. Can this find infrared and IR signals and overtake them and become the main remote for them?
TX and RX, yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. All right. Can this connect into hardwire networks and take over and capture data from a network?
Sure can.
How about wireless networks? Let's just throw it up there. A wireless network that I wanted, of course, only my own wireless network, not my next door neighbors or somebody in a public location. But can it capture wireless key logging information for a network?
It could absolutely connect to a wireless network, your wireless network, and make sure that, you could figure out what people are going to be able to grab off of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now,
So how is this a toy?
well, so this is an experiment.
We started this off with it being a toy. Now it's like this
No,
horrible.
No, it's a
It's a
STEM
toy
product.
for
It's a
testing.
STEM, no, it's a STEM product. That's what I tell everybody.
okay, yeah,
Those are
that's-
STEM products, right?
STEM is good. STEM is good. You could also just say, you're wanting to keep yourself safe
That's
and
right.
just validate that.
Is this one of the perils of
your house
having
is good.
Amazon Walkway or whatever the heck that is?
No, that's a completely different path of treachery that we can get into. So this device I can configure. Now I'm sure it doesn't come with this. So it's gonna come with like a standard OS, and then you have to load these little things side loaded so that you actually get it on the unit itself. Or does it actually come loaded with these tools available right out of the box?
It actually comes loaded with the tools.
Oh my word!
It will work with multiple different Linux distributions, but they are also working on their own Linux distribution, which will make things a little easier.
You're joking about getting this for your wife.
Yeah.
I'm thinking if she actually got this for you, there's nothing more she could do to turn you on than give you this gift.
So this would
That's
be
true.
all right.
Wow.
Yeah. So now, but this could actually be used for a good business sense. Let's say you're not trying to be a nefarious hacker, but if you wanted to use it,
tell me how it can be used non-nefariously.
okay,
Please.
hang on here. So this is what it can be used for. Let's say I'm a company and I want to do a pen testing or some type of security deal
let's
within
just
my
say that
company
you're
itself.
Nathan, and you have this thing laying around.
Well,
Well, if you want to get into pen testing, because pen testing can cost tens of thousands of dollars for companies. And for small companies, that's an extremely large amount of money. So if you work at a small company, you could certainly go in and run a pen test to see how secure your company is.
all right. Now let's talk about the price. I got some more information here. So a tool like this must be at least $1,500, or let's say probably $900.
Try again.
Oh no! Let's move
Come
down
on now. Come
$500.
Come on,
The
you've
same-
already bought a few.
You already bought two.
He already knows.
Okay, well, could this be a $179 product?
Unfortunately, all of the early birds have been purchased, but right now it's $199,
Oh,
or you can get two for $389.
How many early birds were there that Nathan bought?
I didn't get the
He
early
didn't
bird.
get-
I did
he
not.
didn't
I did not get the early
really?
bird. No,
So-
I got the package for two.
Yeah, but here's the
Exactly,
deal.
you can get the
Here's
package
deal.
for two.
Here's the big selling point, though, right? Out of all the technology gobbledygook that he just spit out on the radio,
Yeah.
we all know that
Yeah.
the reason why you love this
Yeah.
is because of the stupid keyboard.
I do.
It does have a full QWERTY keyboard.
Oh.
It's a beautiful thing.
So it's
It's
like a
bringing
big-
back. It's bringing back
It's a BlackBerry. It's a bigger
Yep.
version of a BlackBerry hacking device.
BlackBerry.
More of
I'm
the
gonna be
old
walking around.
sidekick phones where you
Yeah.
split them out. Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm just getting so excited. All right. Okay. All right.
And in answer to your question, Mark, there were 1,000 early birds that have already sold. So,
All right, so this is a hot product.
it's pretty
Oh
popular.
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
come on. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Because
Everybody wants to be hanging around in the bar and change
the
television
channels. All of a
shows.
sudden you go through.
Now I'm just imagining Nathan fighting with somebody on the other side of the
Oh,
bar.
I know. I'd be
changing
like,
channels back
listen.
and forth.
I'd be like, listen, buddy. I'm going to be quicker on
That's
my.
what. See, that's what I would do with. This
Remember when I
stuff.
turned off
would-
all the TVs? Or was it all the TVs or just one?
We
It was
talking
just
about
the
at the
main
It was just the
airport
main
or
one.
It
at
was
the
just
regular
main
bar?
one. It
At the
was
bar.
At the
Okay.
bar.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah,
showing.
we were at the bar, and he has his little gadget, and he's like,
My
"What's
flipper.
this?" And
Sorry.
It's like, and he's turning the channels on the main TV.
And people are like,
the
"Oh, what
poor
the?"
bartender is over there. He keeps grabbing the thing,
Trying to
and
fight
clicking
it.
it back. and
Doesn't this
he's
come
like
with a warning?
turning it off.
Like, don't do this at airports because security will confiscate it.
Yeah, you got to be
Yes.
careful. Flipper is not airport safe. All right, explain.
And how do you know that?
Okay. All right. Explain how many units have been bought and how many of these are available, where I can go and get it. A little bit about the company. Is this their first Kickstarter, or tell us the big details now?
So this is the company's first Kickstarter. They are out of Edmond, Oklahoma. So they are made in the USA.
They're Sooners.
Ooh.
Yeah, they've got a lot of good information on their Kickstarter page. So go to Kickstarter.com and search for Interrupt, and that'll pull up. They've had 1,900 sold already.
Wow.
And have already raked in about $385,000 of the $10,000 goal. So they're doing really well. And if you want one, and I highly recommend it, you need to purchase it by June 3rd.
June 3rd. All right.
Yeah.
Don't let that date get you by.
Yeah.
And if so,
Yeah,
then
I'm going to rush out right now and get one so I can F with my neighbor's
Just so
TV.
you can fight with Nathan.
This is the thing. You could take down all of your next door neighbor's wireless signals, have them all locked and secured, and then you could be the only one that's getting that internet signal from.
I'm going to start
Again,
running.
we
Look
do
at
not
that smile.
condone this
Look at that.
I'm going to start
behavior.
running
Mike
a protection.
smiled there.
I'm
Yeah.
going to start running a protection wing.
There you
here.
go.
Like,
There you go.
You want your internet back? Okay.
That's right. Now the other question
Put
is
some money in an envelope.
clearly
Slide it under my door.
we know that Nathan's got one, but Gwen, all of our listeners want to know: did you buy one of these units?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to have so much fun playing around with it, and maybe I'll recommend it to some of my customers. We'll see.
Okay. There you
So
go.
I don't need to talk about
What's
human behavior and why I'm so freaked out about technology.
I just
huh?
want to pen test stuff. I'm not looking to
Yeah.
do anything nefarious. I just want to pen test stuff.
BS.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? Oh, okay. All right. Here we go. All right. Gwen, thank you so much for being a part of our show. You do a great job each week, and I want to thank you so much for finding this device and making my pocketbook disappear $300+.
You are very welcome.
All right. We'll see you next month. All right. We want to thank Gwen for being a part of the show. She does a great job finding the most unique items each month for TechTime Radio. Now, though, let's move on to Mike's mesmerizing moment.
Welcome to Mike's mesmerizing moment. What does Mike have to say today?
I'm so curious what question you're going to ask him
Okay.
because there's just so many questions from today.
There's so many. All right. So, Mike, do you care about preserving the history of our world? Now, we're spending millions of dollars to do so, but what about how it was done traditionally through books and scrolls over these thousands of years? Why are we now using this digital?
Why are you asking me if I care? I don't care about it.
Do you care about it?
Not at all. No.
Okay.
No,
Go ahead.
this is one of the most important things that we can do as human beings is protect our history and understand our history and preserve our history.
Okay.
I mean, we've talked about the eroding internet over the last 10 years, right? And how what was originally on the internet is being scraped off
Yeah.
and not being preserved at all, right? This is a bad idea.
Okay.
These kind of things keep us grounded in what we're doing. And it also, when you talk about the vault that you talked about, if something happens and we need to rebuild civilization, this is going to be an important understanding of that rebuilding.
Okay.
So, yeah, I care about preserving the history of the world. Now, when that particular saving has a very high price tag on it, then, the limits are you're getting only a certain cross-section of
The
that
information.
history and that information, and that will skew the actuality of our world history.
So there's organizations out there like the Wayback Machine that tries to take screenshots of like old internet sites, right? And so that you can keep the history of that. Is it worth keeping that history? Do we need that history, or should we just be putting this down in an old analog format so that people can do this?
It tells us who we are. It also tells us, it can tell us how we made mistakes.
Okay.
If we pay attention to it. It tells us where we came from. It tells us so much stuff that if you get rid of the stuff, we've talked about this before, getting rid of all this stuff and not preserving it disconnects us from our path. It disconnects human beings from where they came from, and that's a dangerous thing.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike, thank you for that mesmerizing
Now I need
moment.
to go and find a T-Rex handbag.
Okay. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now would be a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we're going to be doing so during the break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. See you in a few minutes.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so you know what? We need people to start liking our social media pages.
If you like our show, if you really like us, we could use your support on Patreon.com.
Or is it Patreon? I think it's Patreon.
Okay, Patreon. If you really like us, you can.
And you say I'm the English guy?
Patreon.com.
I butcher the English language?
You butcher the English language.
Okay, so it's
all the time.
It's Patreon.com.
Patreon.com. If you really like our show, you can subscribe to Patreon.com and help us out.
Oh, and you can visit us on that Facebook platform. You know, the one that Zuckerberg owns?
The one that we always bag on?
Yeah, you can. We're on Facebook too.
Yeah, like us on Facebook.
Do you know what our Facebook page is?
TechTime Radio.
At TechTime Radio. Yeah. You know what? There's a trend here.
It seems to be that there's a trend, and that's TechTime Radio.
Or you can even Instagram with us.
And that's at TechTime Radio.
That's at TechTime Radio. Or you can find us on TikTok.
And it's TechTime Radio.
It's at TechTime Radio.
Like and subscribe to our social media.
Like us today. We need you to like us.
Like us and subscribe. That's it?
That's it. That's that simple.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
All right, we're going into the Wayback Machine of May 17th, 1939. The very first sports TV broadcast happened. Now, NBC carries the first broadcast.
Is that really?
1939, yep, first TV broadcast. NBC carries the first broadcast televised sporting event in history. The second game of a doubleheader baseball game between Columbia and Princeton. Only about 400 TV sets were capable of receiving the transmission, but it was an important first step in the history of televised sports. Now, NBC would later broadcast a Major League Baseball game in August of the same year and the college football game in September, closely followed by the NFL game in October. There you go.
Shouldn't that be the first broadcast in America?
First sports TV broadcast. Well, so there's a discrepancy a little bit about a broadcast that happened during the Olympics over in Germany.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that was a part of the story that we originally looked at on our upcoming, when we do our show prep on Thursdays for our show, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I actually looked into it, it seems like that broadcast never happened. They video recorded and then they delayed broadcast it. So it wasn't really a broadcast. It was a recording that was later played. So did you like that?
Sure.
So now it surprised you, didn't you?
No.
Okay, there you go.
You never surprise me.
All right, so this was the first TV live sporting event that was broadcast.
That's the key, right?
Yes.
First live broadcast.
Yes. So it doesn't do any good to videotape and then record it later. Okay. All right. Well, that was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 250 plus weekly broadcasts spanning our 4+ years of videos, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows. Now we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have Mark's Mobile Whiskey Review. See you after this.
Attention, all geeks and pop culture enthusiasts. Get ready for the ultimate celebration of everything geek at Geek Fest West Game Expo, July 18th through the 20th in downtown Everett, Washington. Join us for 3 thrilling days packed with cosmic cosplay, gaming tournaments, retro movies, and a street fair brimming with unique vendors. From the innovative Geektopia Vendor Hall to the Galactic Time Warp showcasing beloved film classics, including Ghostbusters, The Wrath of Khan, and our special 40th anniversary showing of Goonies. There's something for everyone. Plus, participate in interactive events, from keynote speakers each day to special guest artists. Tickets are on sale now. Secure your spot for this epic celebration at geekfest.com. Get your badges from one-day passes to VIP options and don't be left out. Visit geekfest.com. Geekfest West, the biggest gathering of geek fandom in Snohomish County.
The segment we've been waiting all week for. Mark's Whiskey Mumble.
Alrighty.
Oh, today, May 13th, we are all celebrating.
Yes.
What are we all celebrating today?
I have no idea. What are we
T-Rex
selling?
wallets.
Oh,
Mike just wants a TX wallet. No matter what they come out, you want a TX wallet, don't you?
No,
You want? Don't
I
you
want to make jokes about it.
Okay,
That's all I
all
want
right,
to do.
all
This
right,
is,
okay.
I think that's the most ridiculous thing.
I'm going to
I've
buy
heard
you
is
a
that all this
Velcro
stuff-
wallet with a
all
T-Rex
this
on
stuff
it.
all this stuff, the thing they come up with is let's make a leather bag.
What are we celebrating today, Mark?
thank you, Odie. We are celebrating National Leprechaun Day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Though the exact history, Odie, of National Leprechaun Day is unknown, what is clear is the day is dedicated to celebrating leprechauns.
Give me pot of gold.
Supernatural beings in Irish folklore, the legend of leprechauns can be traced back to the 8th century when the lore began to spread among the Celtics. Whether or not you believe they exist, and hopefully nobody does, but today is a good day to let your imagination run loose.
Frosted Lucky Charms. They're magically delicious.
That's exactly what I expected from Nathan was Lucky Charms.
Does you?
Yes.
Yeah, the marshmallows were the
Well, yeah,
best part about that, right?
I thought of that stupid movie that Jennifer
Lucky?
Aniston did. I think it was her first movie.
Oh, was it
It
actually
was
called
Leprechaun.
Is it called Leprechaun?
It's Leprechaun.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I had
Oh, that
no
was
idea.
like a horror movie. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was this funny horror movie.
Okay.
It was funny.
Was it funny?
Yeah, it was funny.
Okay.
It was a funny horror movie.
All right.
Now, another legend out there is about the jackalope, which is the picture on the front of our bottle today.
Okay, yes.
Now, legend has it the only way to catch a glimpse of the cunning and elusive jackalope is to enjoy a glass of truly incredible whiskey.
Oh.
That is why they made Burr Rye, a blend of bourbon and
Jackalope leather
rye.
bags.
Oh.
Like the jackalope itself, it's unique, mysterious, and gone in a flash.
Or you could go to Disney's Animal Kingdom park and you can get in a tour and you can see a jackalope run all around on the terrace there.
The jackalope population is always reduced by the chupacabra population.
What's that?
You don't know what a chupacabra is?
No.
Wow.
It's a Mexican folklore.
Oh, is it?
That's folklore.
Okay.
It's a goat sucker.
Or
Okay.
you could watch the Bounded Pixar short.
Yeah.
It has a jackalope in it.
Oh, there you go. Okay. All righty.
We need to get some collagen so we can make a jackalope wallet
All right.
or a bag.
Continue.
So I can
Get
put-
us
so I
back
can
on
put my
track, Mark.
hacking
Get us back
tool in.
on.
Let's talk about the whiskey.
Okay.
I've always enjoyed Burr Ryes.
All right.
I love that blend of rye and bourbon. And
Okay.
one of my favorites was a past release of this whiskey from High West. Now, after searching for years, I was thrilled to finally track down a bottle of the 2025 release and actually get a bottle myself of this. Unfortunately, my excitement quickly faded after opening it. Now, while David from Drink Hacker found it impressive, I find this release slightly astringent and lacking in depth and complexity. It just did not live up to my expectations or my memory of previous expressions. What makes this harder is that I found a second bottle and excitedly reached out to Whiskey Chris, who asked me to pick one up for him as well.
Oh, Whiskey Chris. I like Whiskey Chris.
Yeah.
Does he like this?
Nathan's
he hasn't
been
picked
having
up the
a lot
bottle,
of
so
whiskey,
at this-
apparently.
Yeah, at
Okay.
this price point of $130, I really hope he agrees with David and not me.
Okay. I don't want to say what I'm thinking, but
I'll give my guesses
yeah.
because I had guessed that this is a thumbs down for Nathan.
Okay.
And I had guessed Mike will probably give it a thumbs up, but not a big thumbs up. That was my
Wow.
guess.
Okay. All righty. Okay.
We'll see how that plays
We'll
out.
see how it plays
Well.
out. I'm hoping to be wrong. I hope you both give it big thumbs up.
We
Okay.
need to put all this data in the cold storage, man.
All right. Whiskey and technology are great pairings, like Babe Ruth and home runs, or like Babe Ruth and drinking before a baseball game, or like drinking before a tech show.
No, why would you
or
go,
a wedding, or
a wedding.
why would you go Babe Ruth and home runs?
Well, he was
He's been diminished.
How
I mean,
about
there's so
Babe
many
Ruth and
people.
candy
well,
bars?
back in the day, he was the only guy that could just be totally lit, drunk, and go on out in a baseball game and either pitch and win or hit a couple home runs and barely walk the bases and still win for.
I think there's various MLB
See,
players
this
out
is-
there that would disagree with you.
This is why sitting next to Nathan is always a fun day. Because he comes up with these really off the topic, weird things.
All right. Well, now let's prepare for our technology fail of the week, brought to us by Elite Executive Services.
Hank Aaron.
Congratulations. You're a failure.
Oh, I failed. Did I?
Yes.
Did I?
Yes.
All right. Our technology fail comes to us from Newark Airports. Now,
Newark, New Jersey.
Yep, Newark airports were hit with another 90-second radar outage shortly before 4 a.m. local time last Friday. Air traffic controllers alerted the FedEx Corporation aircraft that their scopes just went black again. If you care about this, they said, contact your airline and try to get some pressure on them to fix this stuff. The controller said, according to a playback of the air traffic control audio. Now, the pilot of the plane, identified as FedEx 1989, responded, sorry to hear about that. FedEx said it's aware of the episode and that its flight arrived safely at its destination without any issues. Now, breakdowns in Newark are intensified scrutiny on the border state of air traffic control, critical infrastructure to ensure the safety of some 45,000 U.S. flights carrying nearly 3 million people each day. Now, the FAA said its towers are about 40 years old and average the majority of its radar and technology systems are the same. Now, outdated technologies such as floppy disk and paper strips are commonplace in the air traffic control tower. Think of that.
We think that's surprising, but it's really not.
Now, the U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy on Thursday announced a sweeping plan to upgrade their air traffic control systems across the country over the next 3 to 4 years. I don't know who he's going to have to actually do it. They must have to hire outside people. He's flanked by leaders of multiple major U.S. airlines, including United Chief Executive Officer Scott Kirby, who also says an overhaul is long overdue. Just think of this, flying into a tower with your airplane, and all of a sudden they have to put that floppy disk into the area to boot up on old DOS. I'm dead serious. DOS things to see your airplane coming on in a monochrome monitor.
I'm not sure that's how that works, but good
detail.
So what is more stable generally as a computer system? Something running on DOS or something running on a Windows server?
Well,
come on, answer that.
Okay, what happens when I put my finger across the floppy disk, shoving it in, trying to make sure the
floppy disks are troublesome.
Yeah,
there's a reason why space technology is behind modern technology.
Why is that?
Because it's more reliable.
Well, so if it had tape or something like that, just a floppy disk, I could just.
Well, what kind of floppy? It was with the 5 1/4.
No. They're the big effing ones.
Yes.
Oh my
like
gosh, 64K.
I don't think any of our listeners know about those.
Oh yes, they're like 5-inch floppy disks.
Well, Greg McNabb does because he's back from that era.
He's like, I still have those at home. All right. We're gonna head out to our last commercial break. When we return, we still have our Nathan Nugget. See you after this.
How to See a Man About a Dog. It combines darkly comic short stories, powerful poems, and pulp fiction prose to create a heartbreaking and hilarious journey readers will not soon forget. Read How to See a Man About a Dog, Collected Writings, for free with Kindle Unlimited. Ebook available on Kindle, print copies available on Amazon, the Bookpository, and more.
This is your Nugget of the Week.
All right, everybody listen up. Here's a way for you to get $100. You can now submit your claims to Apple's $95 million lawsuit payout for Siri spying on you. Apple users have 8 weeks to claim up to $100. Now, eligible Apple customers can apply for their share of a $95 million payout because Siri was listening to you all the time.
Yeah, we know. It happened on air.
Yeah, we did. On air one time. Remember that? A website has been set up to distribute the funds, allowing Apple device owners in the U.S. who have experienced an unintended Siri activation during private conversations between September 17th, 2014 and December 31st, 2024. 10 years. If you had an Apple device, you can submit a claim. Now, the payout is related to the 2019 class action lawsuit that alleged Apple was infringing on its users' privacy by capturing conversations overheard by the Siri voice assistant without consent, passing the recordings to a third-party quality control contractors that then were compromised. Now, Apple offered a formal apology and pledged to would no longer retain users' recording, but pushed back against additional allegations that it allowed advertisers to target customers based on Siri's recording data. In January of 2025, the company agreed to pay the $95 million out to impacted users to settle the case. Now, applications are still open until July 2nd, 2025. Claims can be submitted up to 5 Siri-enabled devices, including an iPhone, an iPad, Apple Watch, a Mac, a HomePod, an iPad Touch, and Apple TV, provided the user swear under oath that the voice assistant was unintentionally activated on each device. If approved, the settlement pays out are capped at $20 per device. Eligible Apple device owners already received a claim identification code and confirmation and are already in the process of being notified about the settlement. But applications can still be submitted by anybody. That is you who believes that you could have been absolutely recorded with their tool.
So it's $20, not $100.
Well, you can get up to 5 devices, so 20 times 5. So,
well, it's a good thing you can do math.
well, that's those are one of the many great qualities that you get here on TechTime Radio. So, yes,
Nathan doing math.
I wonder the percentage of our listeners that are Android versus
Apple. Well, I have had an Apple.
Well, you got 3 of us up here, but I think 2 of us can't submit a claim. Of the 3 of us,
you never had an Apple device? No iPads?
I have an Apple iPhone work phone.
Okay, well, it could be
nice. That's your work, though.
Yeah,
that's
different.
different.
My work phone.
Yeah, okay. I've had Apple devices since the eons of time.
I've personally never owned one.
I got 2 phones, Android and Apple.
When's the Alexa app going to, be
sued? I don't know.
Because, that's happening.
Well, soon they're going to start supporting it if you don't opt in to have them listen to you at all times. You know that? We got a story that we're going to talk about next week about a lawsuit on a vacuum device that took pictures of this person, because they take pictures of the deal, and was used in a lawsuit when this gal was drunk and she ended up killing somebody. They actually went back to footage of her own private vacuum, seeing that she was drunk before she got into the car, and they could establish a timeline that she deliberately was drinking.
Her Roomba was following her around and taking pictures of her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well. Doesn't make you feel safe. You buy a device, you bring it home, then it takes pictures of you, and then it leaks out there.
Now I understand why my Roomba sits in the middle of the room and just scrolls over
and looks at me. That sexy face all the time.
And then scrolls back, and then, that's what it's,
All right, now let's move on to our pick of the day, whiskey tasting.
And now our pick of the day for our whiskey tastings. Let's see what bubbles to the top.
So today we're sipping on High West Burr Rye 2025, batch 25A23. This is a blend of bourbon and rye, 5 of them, over 10 years old, 92 proof, $130.
I love this. You
love this. Wow, I was completely wrong on that one.
I love this. I thought it was fantastic. I will give it a huge thumbs up. Look at mine was gone before we even got into it.
Should have known. I bring bad whiskey. You'd give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Wow.
You were spot on with me. I like it, but it's not a huge thumbs up for me.
I will say this morning drinking it was the best. I've had it now probably 5 different days.
Yeah.
This was the best. Maybe it takes a while to open up, or it's better to drink in the afternoon.
Oh, there you go. That could be it.
At night when I normally do.
Okay. All righty. Well, Mike and listeners, we're just about out of time. We want to thank you for being a part of our program. Listeners, we want to hear from you. Visit techtimeradio.com. Click on Be a Caller. Ask us a technology question. And provide comments in our YouTube. We have tons of people watching our YouTube videos. No comments. Just put a comment in there. I'm listening to you, Nathan, and that will make me happy. Now, remember, all of you out there, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, mum's the word. Have a safe and